Hi, I'm Steve Arviskow, Executive Director for Big Sky Economic Development Authority. I'm here today with Steve Brookstein with Bresnan Communications. Steve, welcome. I appreciate you spending the time with us in Montana. And Steve, tell me a little bit about your role with Bresnan. I know you're the COO and you're out here in Montana looking at your regional operation, and we appreciate you doing business here.
You're very welcome. We love it here.
If you were sitting in front of a chief executive officer of another company who was looking at doing business in Montana, what would you tell them about your experience here?
I would say from the very beginning, when we were considering where we wanted to set up shop, and when I say set up shop, we were looking purposely to have a regional operations center to service all of our cable systems in the 4 states in which we operate, which would be Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and Utah. And when we came to Billings, it was astounding, and pleasantly astounding, how receptive the community was to us, the Economic Development Authority, and probably most important, just the people in the community itself. We're, like any business, dependent on a workforce, and we knew that we were going to have some very challenging positions because we operate in a very high-tech environment, and so it was important to understand the caliber of the workforce. And so when you add up all those factors, the incentives, the cooperation of the city, I might add the state as well, and then the availability of a quality workforce, it all added up to this was the place we wanted to be. And now, 7 years into it, we could not be any more pleased. In fact, we've grown our regional operations center way beyond our expectations. We built a 44,000 square foot facility, which we outgrew, and we now have another facility on Central Avenue that we actually lease at this point. Yep. But we've outgrown, and I find it amazing that we have, at least in the state of Montana, we have more people, employees in the state than we had as a company when we started in March of 2003. So we're very proud of bringing jobs to Montana, and particularly bringing jobs here to Billings. We have a call center that has almost 300 people. In total, we have about 400 people just in Billings itself. And one of the aspects that we're most proud about is that when we took over this system, there were some jobs that were being outsourced. Just the prior owner had outsourced some of those positions. Well, we actually insourced those positions. So at a time, this is now back in around 2004, when there's a lot of furor about companies outsourcing, we were actually insourcing. And so back to Billings, just a completely hospitable environment. And the other thing that's a bit self-serving, but to really do business, a lot of businesses, certainly those that might be in customer service or anything high-tech, you need to have a broadband infrastructure. And we're part of that. That's what we provide, among other providers. But I know that in Billings, for any business to want to do business here, they have as robust an infrastructure as you would find practically anywhere in the United States. So that's a key consideration, and that's quite present here in Billings.
So this notion that Montana's kind of removed from the rest of the country and you're kind of out of communication, that's just not true.
No, I think you have a little secret that the rest of the world doesn't know about, because you really have the best of all worlds, because you have all that's needed to be industrious in a community and have the workforce but a quality of life that is unmatched. I think one of the reasons that the people that enjoy working for our company is just that. They have a great work-life balance, and they work very hard, I can assure you. And then they have this wonderful Montana lifestyle.
How would you describe our community as a place to do business?
You notice just the way people behave in the city and in the state. There's just a friendliness and a quality, a good neighborly kind of mentality that I don't want to suggest other parts of the country don't have that, but it's pronounced here. And even I often, when I visit, I'll go out with our technicians and I go on calls, because I work in New York, and it's important for me to be in touch with what's going
absolutely.
on.
Very good.
And the way we're welcome into people's homes, and just the neighborly aspect is just joyful.
What about Montana really helps your bottom line, your profitability as a company?
I'd have to come back to the workforce, because a big cost of doing business is to recruit employees and to replace employees that leave. And while we do recruit, and there's a cost to that, we have what we believe to be, relative to peers, a very high retention rate. And so that, as you would expect, really helps us manage at least our personnel cost structure. Our personnel is our largest operating expense category. And so to be able to not only easily recruit and retain, and thus avoid the need to re-recruiting, has been a big help.
Bresnan has made a very substantial investment in the infrastructure here in Montana, the telecommunications infrastructure. Tell me about that.
We have invested over $300 million in the state of Montana alone since we purchased these systems. Now, when you include the purchase price of the systems, we've invested in excess of $500 million. So I think,
wow,
usually you put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And but the $300 million, that excludes the purchase price. That is building a state-of-the-art, fiber-rich network, broadband network, that is not only capable of delivering services as they exist today, but we're always looking over the horizon as to where we think the industry is going. We were talking about the other day, we now offer our internet service, our basic service is 8 megabits download speeds, and we have a premium service of 15 megabits. But the world is going to go to 50 and 100 megabits. This is where we need to be as an infrastructure provider, and we need and do invest today with expectations to be in a position to grow as future applications become available. And I use the example, if we were sitting together 2 or 3 years ago, neither of us would have ever heard of YouTube.
Yeah,
it didn't exist.
That's true.
And today, literally, as we speak, millions of videos are being uploaded and downloaded over our pipes.
Yeah.
And who would have thought? And what YouTube is being invented in a garage today that we don't even know about. It's uncanny. I've been in this business for over 30 years, and I almost feel like we're just the top of the first inning, in that I think there's so much that's going to happen. But again, as an infrastructure provider and a broadband provider, this is what we task ourselves, and we are not shy about making the investment. This is not a business for the timid at heart. It's a very capital-intensive business, but Bill Bresnan, from the very beginning, I mean, way back in the beginning, he's been in this business 50 years. He's always been out front in making the investments necessary to provide state-of-the-art telecommunication services. And that's what you have here in Billings. What we offer here in Billings is on par, if not identical, to what I have available to me in New York.
The future looks bright. Sounds like your company's headed in great directions. We're very lucky to be a partner with you in that. Tell me where you think we're headed, where your company's headed, and how we can continue to partner with you.
There's a lot to be excited about, and I think that here again, anyone thinking as to where they might set up business, we've had just a wonderful relationship, as I said, with all parties, not only the EDA but the state, and that has meant a big difference to us. So on we go. We expect to be here for many years to come.
Well, we appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you.